Hello everyone. It's my dog. I don't know if you guys can see her. My dog Sasha and I. But today I am talking about OCD, and I'm talking about the types of obsessions and compulsions. I got it from this book called Getting Over OCD, a 10-step workout book for taking back your life. And this is by Jonathan S. Abramowitz. I don't know. He has a PhD. But this book mainly talks about to understand your obsessions, compulsions, and rituals, develop a customized action plan, take gradual steps to safely confront and master the situations you avoid, find relief from intrusive thoughts no matter how distressing, overcome compulsive urges, reduce anxiety, and improve your relationships. That was a lot of words. And that's a pretty high claim, so I haven't gone through each and every step of this. I just like to look through it and whatnot, just to see, what they offer. And I'm going to take you inside of, let me see. Okay, so for those who don't have OCD or don't know what OCD is, I'm going to try to be really brief about this. OCD is an anxiety disorder that affects the way we think, perceive, or process things, and it's hard to explain. We get thoughts that are called obsessions that constantly replay in our mind, and the compulsions are the things that we do, the action steps we take to reduce the anxiety coming from the obsessions. I'll explain more as I go into it. So here are the types of obsessions. Number 1, it says responsibility for harm or mistakes. Intense anxiety or concerns about making mistakes that will result in harm to other people, harming someone else because of your own carelessness, being responsible for disasters, for example, fire, burglary, or another tragedy, not doing enough to prevent something bad or awful from happening, hitting someone with your car, numbers or words associated with bad luck or disasters, for example, 9/11 or the number 13. This is my main obsession. Mainly every checkpoint under number 1, except for numbers or words associated with bad luck or disasters, it's a type of thought or obsession that I get. So yeah, making mistakes that will result in harm to other people, for sure. And I'll continue to explain later. Number 2, contamination. Intense anxiety or concern about bodily waste or bodily fluids, dirt or germs, toxic chemicals and other materials, certain places or contact with certain people, germs from animals or insects, becoming ill because of contamination, spreading contamination to others. This is a contamination and a responsibility obsession. How disgusting it feels to be contaminated rather than being afraid of illness. So that's that. Number 3 is order and symmetry. Preoccupation with order and exactness, ideas that something is not arranged just right, the need for left, right, balance, or symmetry, even or odd numbers. I kind of have an obsession like this. I feel like I really used to struggle with this a couple of years ago, but I kind of really worked at overcoming it, or managing it, should I say. I wouldn't say overcome, because I still struggle here and there. But yeah, most definitely, when it comes to order and exactness, when I write my essays, when I do my homework, and things having to be just right, it just bothers me if something does not feel right. Number 4, violence and aggression. Unwanted thoughts, images, impulses, and intense fear of hurting or killing people you don't want to, for example, loved ones. Violent images or thoughts, words associated with violence, for example, death, murder, gun. Harming yourself even though you don't want to, not suicidal thoughts. Obscenities, racial slurs, insults, and curse words, perhaps the impulse to say or yell offensive things at someone you don't want to hurt, upsetting thoughts and urges to act on unwanted aggressive impulses. Okay. That's my main one. I went back to number 1. I said responsibility for harm or mistakes. Yes, that is my main one too, but they both kind of blend together. But that is the one, violence and aggression, I struggle the most with, is Harm OCD. Those who saw my video, OCD My Story, or what it feels like to have OCD, I describe kind of the feelings of having like Harm OCD and having those terrible freaking thoughts, because it's like we don't want to do like for example, my dog here, you know, like I love her. I love her so much, but with my OCD, like I could have a thought of just hurting her, and it's the worst because you would never do that. Like that's the thing with people with OCD, we would never do something like that. Like we would never do it. It's just we have those thoughts, and everyone has those thoughts. To be honest, everyone has intrusive thoughts. It's just when people who have OCD, we just tend to get stuck on them and kind of fixated and focused on it, and we have a hard time kind of moving on. So number 5, sex. Unwanted thoughts, images, impulses, and intense fears related to forbidden or perverse sexual topics, homosexuality if you're straight, or heterosexuality if you're gay, molesting children, committing incest or having sex with animals, becoming a pervert, aggressive sexual behavior, for example, rape. Number 6, religion and morality. Unwanted thoughts, images, doubts, and intense fears related to, I cannot pronounce this word, blasphemy. And, okay, we're going to skip that. Whether you're following the teachings of your religion well enough, your relationship with God, sin, hell, and punishment, morality and right and wrong, other unwanted or immoral topics, for example, thoughts of curse words. Number 7, miscellaneous obsessions, extreme fears and preoccupation with having or being diagnosed with a serious medical illness, for example, cancer, having something else rather than OCD, for example, schizophrenia, and aspects of your physical appearance. Which I know I struggle with, like preoccupation with my physical appearance. Like sometimes it takes me hours to get ready. It's just really annoying to find like the right clothes and the right shoes, or if I'm doing my makeup, it has to be like exactly precise. And but I'm gonna go over what's the difference between having obsession and having just a thought, an unwanted thought. The things that accompany obsessions is that you get an obsession, and normally it hits you when you wake up, and it can bother the heck out of you all day until you go to sleep, even in your dreams. Like for me, my OCD never leaves me alone. It's there when I wake up. It's there when I fall asleep. It's there in my dreams, fortunately. But there are ways to manage. I don't want you to feel like it's hopeless. You will never, ever be able to break free. I've been struggling with OCD all my life, and there are things that I feel like I have managed better. You know, it doesn't take up as much time out of my day as it used to. But yeah, those are obsessions, things that people with OCD, constantly worry about. Alright, so here are some examples of obsessions if you still don't further understand what all that means, or you just want more clarification. Responsibility for harm or mistakes. What if I dropped my pills on the floor and a child took them? I could be responsible for causing a fire in my house. I might injure someone with my car and not realize it. The number 13 could bring bad luck to someone I love. Contamination, germs, sickness, poison, and disgust. Thoughts that germs from the doorknob are on me. What if I shook hands with someone who didn't wash after using the bathroom? If I touch the baby, I will contaminate her with my germs. Was I exposed to a harmful chemical? Order and symmetry. Thoughts about the desk being messy. Thoughts about odd numbers. Need to feel things are just right. Obsessions concerned with violence, sex, morality, and religion. Thoughts of curse words, nasty comments, or racial slurs. Thoughts about harming or killing someone I love. What if I lose control and I do something terrible? Images of my grandparents having sex. Urge to stare at someone's genital area. Am I absolutely sure that I am not a child molester? Ideas of having inappropriate sexual relations. Unwanted blasphemous images, such as image of Jesus with an erection on the cross. Doubts such as, what if I committed a sin without realizing it and God is very upset with me? Alright, so I think having obsessions in a way shows that you care, because you're worried about either hurting someone else, or you're worried about bad things happening to good people, or to anyone, to innocent people especially. So if you have just this thought of my obsessions are pure evil and it means I'm a bad person, that's not true. Everyone has these thoughts, and I mean, these are just, they're thoughts, and that's how we have to look at them, as it's only being thoughts, and that's really, really hard. But it's one of the only ways we're going to actually break free from this obsessive-compulsive lifestyle. Or not necessarily lifestyle, I'm not going to say that, because when I think of lifestyle, I think of like something that you choose to have. I don't feel like I choose to have OCD, but I can't think of the word. But you know, like, you're stuck in a rut. That's what I'm trying to say. To help get you out of a rut.